I'm going to show you all you need to create beautiful abstract coastal art. Please don't spend a fortune on materials. You do not need to buy the most expensive brands. I know because I've been doing this for years. I sell big canvas paintings to people living in palatial villas by the sea. So I know what works on canvas. Do not spend a fortune on materials, please, especially when you're starting out. You don't need to buy expensive brands, and don't believe anyone who tells you that you do. First thing you need are paints. I love acrylic paint. It's really fast drying. Unlike oil, you know, with oil it takes days and days to dry, and also oils cost an absolute fortune. I do really big paintings, and so I use a lot of paint. I usually buy at least 500 milliliter size, sometimes 1 liter. But this, for example, is a set of 24 paints from Spanish brand Artina. And I got them for about €90 from Amazon. Amazon is a great place for paint. So yeah, I wouldn't buy too many. You don't actually need a set of 24. I would go for the basics. The primary colours, blue, yellow, red, obviously, because from those colours you can mix 100 more colours. I always have lots of white because I'm always trying to lighten things that are too deep. And I love metallics. It's great to have gold and silver and then mix them together, because I find that gold can be a little bit gaudy, silver can be a bit cold, but when you put them together, you can create beautiful champagne shades. I love paddle brushes. You can buy them from any hardware shop. I don't know what it is about them, but they apply paint to canvases so much more smoothly than your traditional brush. I still use traditional brushes, a selection of sizes. That's about the smallest that you need. But these, whether they're big or small, they're fantastic. You can buy 3 of these for about a £5 on Amazon or eBay. The next thing are texture makers. I love paintings that have lots of texture, and to create it I use all-purpose wall filler. You can get it from a pound shop, you can get it from a hardware shop. I always have a selection. And PVA glue, you can get it anywhere. I mix a little bit of the PVA glue with the wall filler because the glue helps the wall filler adhere to the canvas. Tools. I love a squeegee, great for applying huge amounts of paint to the canvas. And then combs, just cheap combs. Again, I use them to create texture. You can use anything around your house for texture. You don't have to use a comb. You could use a fork. You could use a sponge. You could use a scourer. Just experiment with anything that you have at home. Find things that can give you different textures and patterns and have fun with it. do love Tupperware. And that's because I mix up a lot of paint because I'm doing big paintings. And you don't want to mix up a small amount, get your perfect colour, and then run out and have to start all over again. So I mix up a huge amount and then I put it in Tupperware. And it can stay like that overnight for a week, sometimes longer, before it gets a bit sweaty and mouldy. So yeah, Tupperware is fantastic. I always use big, chunky, deep edge. That's the edge. Deep edge canvas, because I think it looks so much more professional and it makes more of a statement on the wall than thin canvases. I always use 100% cotton, and you can get these from Amazon or from an art shop, of course, but you don't need to spend a fortune. All you need to make sure of is that it's got enough support. You don't want a baggy canvas because you're going to put a lot of paint on. It needs to be strong. So this one is 80 by 80 centimeters. Now usually when I'm painting for clients, I do much bigger pieces, but this size for your average living room is quite a good size. It's big, but it's not overwhelming. It won't take over the space. I love square canvases, but I also like landscape. And I think if you're going to do a painting that's to go above a bed in particular, landscape is a really good shape. The last thing you need is high gloss varnish. Oh my God, I love this stuff. This actually is a brand, but it's not that expensive. Liquitex. Again, I bought it on Amazon. And this stuff, a little goes a long way. So this was about £25 and I've already used it on 6 or 7 paintings. This does 2 things. The first is, of course, it protects your canvas from UV light, from dirt and dust. So it makes your painting last longer. But more importantly for me is that when you apply this on top of dried acrylic, it really, really makes the colours pop. You know, sometimes with acrylics, they can look a little bit chalky when they're dry, especially if you've added lots of white or you've put wall filler into the paint to make it thicker. What this does is it really brings the colours out. And sometimes I rush the end of a painting because I'm so excited to get to the varnishing stage because it makes all the difference. So, get yourselves big bottles of acrylics, a selection of brushes, some wall filler and glue, some high gloss varnish, and a big stretched canvas. Get all of that stuff together and you are ready to create. I hope I've got you inspired to paint. And if you need some more inspiration, head over to my website because I've got so much art there that might give you some ideas for colours and composition. And if you're not quite ready to start painting on canvas, but you would like to paint maybe a wall in your house or change your decor, have a look at my interiors features that I write for a magazine here in Portugal. They're full of tips and ideas for breathing life into your living space.